Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the 499P. Before we get to that, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being a great part of Gray's Dynamics. Thank you for being a valued part of my channel and continuing to tune in week in and week out. I want to thank those who become members. I appreciate it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Also to those on Twitch who've also subscribed to my channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. All of you out there who just watch my videos, thank you. Whether you subscribe, like, or not, I appreciate it, but I would thank you for a thumbs up. Thank you to Picorni for, again, just working with me with many things. Again, giving me 5% to pass forward to you and myself. I get no kickback for it or anything like that. It's just 5% as part of my followers and those who watch me to go ahead and save that 5% to get a wheel that they would like. Do know that these opinions, these critiques, this praise, all of this is my opinion. Whether I am right or wrong or somewhere in the middle, doesn't really matter to most people. It matters to me that I am honest and I'm upfront and tell you what I think. I could be wrong, I could be right, who knows? But that's my journey. 499P. We're going to review this wheel and tell you what we think. But I can tell you this, from the get-go, before we even get to the conclusion, you should buy it. I think this is the top of the list. If you don't own it, you should. If you're not thinking about it, you should. If it's a product that you want somebody else to build for you, let me know and I'll build it for you at a nominal fee. But again, I will build it for you. I've already built 2 of these for others, and trust me, once they got it in their hand and I sent them out to Denmark, they absolutely loved it. Great wheel. I think you'll enjoy it. Now let's get to the review.
So for my wheel configuration, I went with the aluminum front and back with the MJF enclosure. This is a 288mm diameter wheel with a 5-inch Vocor screen. It's got 10 push buttons, it's got 3 front rotary encoders, 1 in the center that is a multi-position switch that links to the one in the middle down below. It's got 2 funky knobs, it's got 6 thumb encoders on the front, so it's got a litany of options to use on the front of the wheel. Now, if we look at the back of the wheel, what you're going to see is in addition to your shifters and clutches, you also get a set of really cool toggle switches. Now, this is an option that you can or don't have to use, but there will be future options to use some other cool items that I think each and every one of you will enjoy. So DIY wheels like Picorni allow you to make changes on the wheel to whether it be your bite point and things moving forward. In addition to that, on this wheel, he's added multi-position switches. Those 3 rotary encoders at the bottom can be multi-position switch, as well as traditional encoders with both a plus and minus pulse just to go up and down. The larger one in the center that has the Ferrari logo, what you'll notice is that has different options on the screen. That becomes linked to the bottom center one that says Strat. So for example, I can change my game volume, rotate the knob with a GVL, use the Strat to pulse it up or down. So now the volume can be increased or decreased or be used with any other different option that you can see on that multi-link. Alright, so what is it like to drive? Well, I can tell you this much. 1, the grips are significantly better than every wheel that he has created up until this point. 1, they're chunky on the back end. And I say that because if anybody's used the Hype R, one of the complaints I've heard from some people, including myself at times, was although the grips are soft, they weren't large enough to make your hand feel full. So if you had larger hands than myself, as a person who has medium-sized hands, well, that can be a little tiresome after a long race. However, they were soft, so that did give you the option of either wrapping them or, again, making sure that you use some gloves on it so that you try not to tire your hands out as much. With that being said, all of the knobs, the funky knobs, the thumb encoders, everything is well within reach. Again, it's a 288mm wheel. It's got all of the LEDs that you can think of. Comes with a really cool dash that mimics quite a bit of the actual Ferrari wheel. And again, depending on what game you're playing, you may see certain other options that may pop up on this. I'm currently running the ATSR theme and dash for this wheel that makes it really cool and easy to customize. I would highly recommend checking out ATSR and all of their profiles for all of the products that they make, as I think it's something that I'll be doing a video on to share more detail about. With that being said, the buttons are nice and clicky, so when you push them, whether you're hitting the pit button or you're doing something else, you are covered there. When you're using the shifters, again, I went with MJF. I will say It has a really nice pull to it, but again, you're going to want to make sure you get very strong magnets to make sure that you get that nice tactile click that you're likely looking for. The encoders on the front feel really good. They have really good detents behind them, so you'll be able to tell exactly when you rotate the encoder and you're trying to make a selection. Whether you're adapting to adjust the boost, the gain volume, maybe even fuel by using the multi-link, again, everything will require you to sometimes remove your hand, but again, you can see it right on screen in the dash, and the dash is customizable. Whether you use the dash from Picorni or you use the one from ATSR, it will allow you to make those changes right on the wheel. And again, you can see those things. It's very easy to set up and it's fully SimHub compatible. The 6 thumb encoders are absolutely awesome to have. And I can tell you, between brake bias and ABS and deploy modes and regen modes and front and rear ARB, having all of these thumb encoders puts inputs right at your thumb so you don't have to take your hand off the wheel. So you have so many inputs in addition to on the back having the toggles. So this is a wheel that I think really has enough inputs for everybody and anybody. No matter what type of sim racer you are, I think this is a wheel that will have plenty of inputs for you to be able to use. I think this may be Picorni's best wheel he has created up until this point. I look forward to what he creates in the future. But you know what? Now that we've said all that, let's get to the conclusion and wrap this up.
So as you saw in the review, every input on this wheel is something that I think you could use. I think there's so many inputs that you will be confused as what to map all the buttons to be honest. But for those of you who don't have button box, maybe there's a button on here that you need to have. If you're in VR, obviously you won't need a screen, but again, you have more inputs, more buttons, thumb encoders, rotary knobs, and again, this wheel as configured is a little less than $1,000 because I went with MJF. I got all the parts I could from Picorni. I did not get the aluminum for now. Maybe I'll consider that in the future. But again, if you build it all the way to the high end, it's gonna cost you between $1,200 and like $1,400 if you get everything aluminum and everything from Picorni. But again, everything about DIY means you can choose what you want to do. I know people who ran it for a little bit without the screen before getting it because they were just excited to have it. But again, you do have that option. With that being said, again, add this to your very, very, very short list. I have one criticism about the wheel. Really, after everything I've seen, I don't really have any complaints. Some people may have more complaints than I do, but again, I don't have many. The grips on the ends should be rounded. I will say that. They're flat on this side. Now they're chunky here. So when you grab it, you have something to hold on to. And if you've used the Picorni Hype R, this feels better. With that being said, it'd be nicer if these grips start to be rounded in his mold. So that would be something I would shoot for in future wheels. But other than that, I mean, the rotaries have a nice detent to it. You know, these encoders feel really great on the front. I've got my custom Ferrari sticker on there. I mean, everything just feels really good. You know, you can make anything, any color that you want. But yeah, add it to your shortlist. Get the wheel. You'll absolutely love it. You'll absolutely enjoy it. And use Grades 5 to save 5% off. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in. Thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on. And obviously, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.